Hello everybody, it's Dubsker, and today I wanted to talk about my participation in the 2023 Game Maker's Toolkit Game Jam. If you do not know already, a Game Jam is a friendly competition between developers to make the best and most interesting games they can within a certain amount of time based on a theme decided by the Game Jam creators. For the jam I participated in, the theme was role reversal, and I had 48 hours to make the game for it. Now I didn't want to do this alone, so I decided to team up with my good friend Mighty, who would do the art like 3D modeling and textures, while I program, because, well, this is what my models look like. Anyways, let's get started. Before the Game Jam's theme was revealed, me and Mighty partially discussed what kind of game we wanted to make, but the theme that was given was role reversal, which threw all of our planning out the window. So we had to come up with a new idea. So after some brainstorming, I came up with an idea that stuck in both me and Mighty's minds. You play as an electrician that is trying to destroy outlets of a customer's house without getting caught. This idea was hitting both the silly mark and the unique idea check mark, but the gameplay was going to be a stealth game in the end, which is not only difficult to balance correctly in 2 days, but can also be quite boring. We scrapped this idea and did some more thinking with this new direction of silly destruction, in which the idea for a Slenderman game in which you defend your notes from being taken came about. This could be balanced in a short amount of time, it was a unique idea for a game, it's quite silly, and I thought it would just frankly be badass to play as a classic horror game killer. The first thing I did after getting a gist of the kind of game we were making was come up with a plan to implement all of the ideas we had into something we could make. I don't want the game to be scary, but empowering. I want the player to feel like a powerful depiction of Slenderman that can send humans flying. I also want it to be easy to pick up without a tutorial. So I came up with this game idea. There will be 4 trees that will spawn procedurally on the map. Those trees will have notes on them. The reason it will be procedural is so that there is a variation in each time you play the game, and I just kind of feel like it. The humans will walk towards the tree to take the note off. Player will be able to draw a new note on the tree, and the player will be able to hit the humans to deal damage with a small cooldown, or jump scare the humans, instantly unaliving them and making them fly backwards into the air with a longer cooldown. I think there should be enough to go off of now to start making the game. I immediately started to build a flat scene as a base, stole a player controller script, and started making PSX style graphics rendering. I did this by literally just turning down the render resolution at which the camera renders at. I also dragged some trees in there that Mighty made whilst I was getting the project set up. After this, I got started on making the human AI pathfinding script. I decided to keep the floor flat to remove the likelihood of pathfinding failing, as uneven land can cause inconsistencies and bugs in movement. I also made a human base script that just handles their health, time to take the notes off the tree, and what type of human they will be. The types I am going to put in the game are adults and children. The adult human will have more health and take less time to steal the note, but also be a bigger target and move much slower. The child is basically the opposite of the adult, with less health and more time to steal the note, but also is faster and smaller. I believe this is going to add some variety, since one enemy would probably be a bit boring and repetitive. Speaking of enemies and AIs, while making this script for this video, I decided to write a decently sized fun fact section about AIs and algorithms in games. So when I explain this to captivate your silly monkey brain, footage of me opening the DVD for the 2006 Adam Sandler movie Click will start playing in the background, along with other various objects I purchased from my local mall. So if you want to skip that part, skip to this point on the screen. One fact about AIs in games, it is usually not a textbook definition AI. Nearly all games use an algorithm that controls decisions and pathfinding, as opposed to an actual AI, which has distinct differences. When running an actual AI or AI model, you're kind of like simulating a brain, since it receives, processes, and outputs information. That is why newly created AI models do not instantly work, as they need experience like us to figure out how to get to an end goal, for example, learning how to walk. With an algorithm, you can kind of think of it like a math equation. It is accurate and does not need experience. That is why games use algorithms to control the environments, as they are more reliable, due to not relying on experience, and they also cost much less to run. Also, algorithms are much simpler to work with and troubleshoot, as the results will always be more controlled than the AI model, which has a chance to spew random results that are not useful to getting what you want out of it. An example of this could be a pathfinding AI that decides to go somewhere random instead of correctly and precisely going to the location you specified like an algorithm would. Anyways, back to the video. After creating the enemy types and trees, I added an outline to the trees that had the notes on them, as the special trees did not have any indicator on them that they were special. Also, the tree's outlines change color depending on if any human is touching it or not. For example, when no humans are touching the tree is white. When the humans are trying to take the note, it is yellow, and when there is no note on the tree because they took it, it is red. When the tree is red, the player can replace the note. The whole time that I had been making these mechanics, my teammate Mighty had been creating 3D models for the game. So I imported those and hooked up their animations. The game was now completely playable, and I stopped working on it for the day after all of this on day 1. After day 1, most of the base game was there. It just needed hand animations, sound design, and maybe some small bug fixes and modifications to make the game more beginner friendly. Unfortunately, I did not record this day as we were really trying to hurry up and finish, and I kind of forgot. So I will just say what we did over some gameplay demonstrating the things that I added. Firstly, my buddy Rylan, who is a 3D modeler and an animator currently working on the project Havoc on Steam, go wishlist it, decided he wanted to make a hand model and animations because he liked the game idea. They actually turned out incredible, especially the one where Slenderman is writing on paper, as it is so fluid and very silly. I also added sounds for when the player uses their jump scare ability. When humans die, when humans get hit, when the cars are driving, and when the player is writing a note to put on the tree. I also made a quick tutorial as well. Hello there. This is the tutorial for Slenderman Does. I felt like it would be an easy game to understand even without a tutorial, although it is good to put that there in case anyone gets confused. Lastly, I made an itch page for the game since this is a game jam, and I want to present the game in a fashionable manner. The head and chest 3D model and the thumbnail were also by Rylan, by the way. So I think that's basically everything we did, and I recommend checking it out for yourself, as it is quite fun to mindlessly run around and whack people, but I will show you some gameplay here. What the hell? No way, yeah, 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 yeah.